All week long, Bobdale Gloves has been bringing us coverage of the 76th Annual Ponoka Stampede, and the sun is setting on the 76th Annual Edition. I'm Diane Finstead with Dr. Lynn Phillips, and what a week we've had, and this truly was a blue ribbon championship day at the Stampede.
It really was. We couldn't have asked for better weather, better cowboys, better livestock. It was perfect here at the Ponoka Stampede.
Now, this afternoon, of course, we had the 12 finalists, and from there, we weeded it down to 4, and what a showdown it has been.
What a showdown it has been, and just a great stampede overall. We set an attendance record here, just a few people shy of 80,000 people.
Oh, that's a lot of rodeo fans, and we know you're rodeo fans too, so we better get right to the action so we can squeeze it all in. Now, we'll start off with the saddle bronc riding and take a look at one of the outstanding rides from this afternoon, and that was Rocky Mountain House's Jim Berry. He had the horse Eclipse.
Here's a big stout horse, one of the top horses of the national finals. You can see the power on this horse, and Jim is a big guy, and this horse really fits his style, and that was a nice matchup for them.
Yes, 86 points, and that left Jim in second place in the average. Now, these are our 4 finalists. Denver Danes out of Innisfail, Sam Keltz out of Millerville, Jim Berry from Rocky Mountain House, and Luke Butterfield from hometown Ponoka. All Alberta boys, and it's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a great finals because Wayne Vole is our primary stock contractor. He's going to go to the top of the herds of all of these guys, and he's going to bring us 4 horses that are going to be tough to ride.
Okay, let's get to the chutes as we take a look at our first qualifier. This is Denver Danes. He's drawn up on Calgary's great Lynx Mountain Watch. She's known for a big rear out.
She is. Didn't really rear out, but she immediately starts getting high in the air, and Denver is just making a perfect ride on this mare. And this is just going to be tough to beat right here. And that's the first one out as we work down our working order. And Denver's awful happy with that. But the horse, as you said, ordinarily, they anticipate the big rear out. And she really just spun out of there, which is they prefer that to leave that way to just perfect. I mean, just watching his feet up in the front end, he's just dragging them all the way back. I didn't see one missed spur beat that entire ride.
Okay, well, 84 puts the mark on the board. Jim Barrett, or rather we go next with Sam Keltz, and Sam is on the great Pedro.
Pedro, the reserve champion bucking horse at the Canadian Finals Rodeo. Here's another horse that gives you a lot of power in the bronc riding. And
yeah, tough luck for Sam. They said that he missed him out, so that's a costly mistake.
You know, that left side, as we saw him go out, I was really looking, and tough luck.
Jim Berry's out on Get Smart. He's had this horse before here at the finals and was anxious to get even with him. It makes the whistle, but 81 doesn't top the 84. Here we go with Luke Butterfield out of Ponoka, and he's on Calling Card.
And Calling Card, really, this horse just kind of gets him jacked up out of there. That is a really nice horse that I was not familiar with, but I was very impressed with.
Well, there you go. Denver Danes, how life has changed for him. He's a singing star who tries to balance both careers, and up until this week was going to be, in fact, he says he's in the recording studio tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock and hasn't entered any more rodeos, so things are going to change for him. He becomes our Ponoka Stampede champion for 2012. So pretty exciting for the Danes family. We saw his dad, Ivan, down there, and Ivan won this Stampede many years ago as well.
I visited with Ivan after the rodeo, and he was tickled to death. He really was.
Well, the ladies are ready to turn in some fast times, and in fact, this afternoon, it was Carly Rae Pierce, and let's take a look at her run. This is a great horse. She's got Dylan. He's just been running away with everything up in here in Canada.
This horse is running away with everything everywhere he goes, and this is a tough horse to beat. Unusual to see a buckskin with this much speed. We see some of them, but most of our barrel horses have a lot of race blood in them, and they don't come in yellow colors. So to see one that can run that fast is a bit unusual.
Well, she was 17.274, and that put her on top in the average, and then she leads the way back in. Also, of course, we have world champion Sherry Survey, world champion Brittany Posey, and Lacomb's own Cranna Roberts, so a power-packed lineup there.
Very power-packed. You've got two world champions. You've got the #1 lady. You've got the local who has got a rehab horse who's just been running great.
And it's not easy on these horses to run 2 runs in one day. So let's see how Cranna Roberts makes out with Mooney as they take to the track. As you mentioned, Mooney's been, it's just an amazing comeback story for this horse, health-wise.
It really is. She has a rehab facility. She's brought him back. This horse is really running well. I like the way this horse is charging around those barrels, watches them, cuts them tight. So this is a great way to start off our showdown round with a nice run to set the pace.
17.508 is where Cranna Roberts stops the clock. Next, then, we head out with Brittany Posey and Duke. Brittany comes all the way from Victoria, Texas.
Here's one of our world champions. We told you don't see many yellow-colored horses. This is the second one, and they're going to prove me wrong here tonight. But these are all great horses, or she wouldn't be a world champion on Duke. And she's a little bit wide right there around that last barrel, and that could be costly.
Well, she's still faster than Cranna, 17.325. That's among the faster times that we've had all Stampede long. Well, now we go with Sherry Survey and Stingray. Boy, does he like to scuttle around those barrels.
And that's the third yellow-colored horse out of 4 that we've had.
I think we got a sweep coming.
Absolutely. Here's another world champion barrel racer. Sherry Survey has, she always has a stable of great horses. Right now, for the last few years, this has been the horse. I love the way this little horse scoots around. He's not very big, but boy, can't he turn it. He does run.
Now, Sherry also is in the 17.5 range, 17.512. Well, let's see what Carly Ray Pierce, can Dylan do it again? I think this is the 4th yellow horse.
Yeah, well, it's really the 3rd one because we were talking about him earlier.
Oh, okay.
And here we go. And this horse is impressive. As you said, he has literally been burning them up everywhere he goes. Look at the turn right around that barrel. Waste no time. And here she comes on home. And that may be our winner there.
17.307, you called it, and she is indeed. Now, she won the Innisfail Rodeo not too long ago, and so she's just been loving her time in Canada. Carly Ray Pierce out of Texas, our champion for 2012 in the barrel racing. So don't go away. When we come back, we'll have more great showdown action from the Ponoka Stampede right here on Shaw.
Bob Dale Gloves Championship Rodeo coverage of the Ponoka Stampede is sponsored by Bob Dale Gloves. Designed for strength, made for comfort. Extreme gear for extreme conditions. These gloves are BDG brand. Visit us online at bobdalegloves.com.
I want to ride harder than when I was 20.
This fall, Shaw TV is helping Canadians step outside their comfort zone in the brand new 13-part series, Make It Happen.
This is the year I take my music and my hard work to the national stage.
I'm going to be ready for my first fight.
But I just dream, and I go for it.
No matter how big or small the challenge, they all aim to make it happen.
It's been Showdown Monday at the 76th Ponoka Stampede, and this is where they hand out the big bucks. This can turn a season around on a dime.
Absolutely. We've talked about it all week that 3 of the richest rodeos over Cowboy Christmas are right here in Canada. This is the biggest of all of them. You come out of here, these people that we see winning tonight in this showdown round, they're going to come out of here with over $10,000, $10,000 to $15,000 just for this week in Ponoka.
And that's big money in the rodeo world. It's
Yes,
some team ropers looking for some big bucks as we head to that end of the arena, and we watch our afternoon, one of our best times in the afternoon go, Jim Ross Cooper and Charlie Crawford. They've come a long way to rope in Ponoka, and boy, they get it done nicely there.
They do, but that's a whole head catch. kudos to that healer for catching that steer, because that was not handled real well, but he cleaned that up well.
4.7 seconds, so that put them fourth in the average, and that got them back here. And so let's head now then to tonight's action. The showdown round, we start things out with, of course, our first team of the evening. Let's see where we head in our showdown for the team roping. It's J.R. Cooper and Charlie Crawford again. We'll see them back-to-back. Of course, they've got a steer here that they want to make some fast time on.
Out good. Header is out of the barrier fine. Healer coming in, and they pick him up, turn and face, and that is another nice way to start this showdown round.
A little bit longer, 7-2. And again, this is a clean slate, so another times from before come with them. Telflu Elling and Tyrell Gordon from Lacombe and Panoka, hometown favorites.
Same kind of head catch, handles that steer real well, but unfortunately only one hind foot, and we're going to have to add a 5-second penalty for that.
11-5, their time. Now we go with the kid and the veteran, I guess, Riley Wilson and Clay Ullery from Cardston and Two Hills. Clay is a student at the West Winds Rodeo Academy in Cardston.
And he doesn't look like he's afraid of anything. He catches him so fast, he backs into that corner. He couldn't back up anymore. That healer had to back up to tighten his rope to stop the time.
But look at where they stopped at 5.6 seconds. Well, can we be any faster with Steele DePole and Chad Johnson from Longview and Del Bonita?
Header is way out late. Missed his dally, comes in, turns. He's got that steer on a long line. That gives that healer trouble, but reaches down, makes a catch. It looks like a 5-second penalty, possibly. I couldn't tell.
10.2 seconds for their total time there, so they must have caught the two.
All right.
But that 5-6 clean run with the kid, Riley Wilson and Clay Ullery, that gives them the Panoka Championship, and they were pretty excited about that.
Oh, they were. And as I said, how fast would he have been if he hadn't got hemmed up into that corner?
Yes, and, Riley Wilson said his dad, Bob Wilson, also is a past Panoka all-around champion, won the bull riding and the steer wrestling, I think, all in one day. So another second-generation
That's great.
winner.
Great to see.
All right, from team roping, we head to our bareback riding. And, boy, we've got some great horses in the chutes. We'll start off with the best ride of the afternoon. This is Ty Brewer from North Dakota on Scarface.
This guy will really get wild right here. Real high bucking horse. Look at this horse. Gathers himself up. Doesn't travel a lot, and we like that. The horse stays right in front of the bucking chute. Lets those judges see what's going on. So that's a nice ride.
86 1/4 he was on that ride, which is the high mark of the afternoon. And that gave him second in the average by just a 1/4 point. And so you see he's joined by Will Lowe, Josiah Young, and Dusty LaValle in our showdown round.
No slouches in that that bunch right there.
And, boy, do they bring out the juice in the bareback riding horses as well. Let's head to the chute and start things off. And we do begin with the ride of Will Lowe, and he's on special delivery from the Calgary Stampede, the horse they won Innisfail on not so long ago.
3-time. He's a world champion, and this horse is really getting high. And look at this little compact guy working on this horse, and he really makes a nice ride. And this event really suits Will Lowe. I mentioned it last night. He's about 5'5" at the most.
88 points. That puts him on top so far. Ty Brewer has got Stampede Warrior, another Calgary great horse.
Here's a horse, gives him a duck and a dive early on and makes it tough on him. And just not as smooth a ride as you saw Will Lowe, and that's going to be reflected in that score. That horse was just tough to get the points out of.
But just a 1/4 point lower, 87.75. Dusty LaValle on a new horse, Makeup Face, owned by Bar C5, Vernon McDonald and family.
Look at this gray horse buck. I mean, he really got high. Now fading away toward that fence, and another great ride. That's 3 of them in a row.
Can you believe what a beautiful picture, with the sun setting there and glistening on those. Let's take another look at that horse. That horse has been making headlines wherever it goes. They were 92 on him at San Angelo, and Dusty was happy to be able to nod his head on this one.
This horse really getting high right there. And not many guys would have been able to weather that storm out of that jump there. Then the horse kind of fades a little bit, but that's still a great horse and a great ride.
And a great score at 90 points. That's one they don't see very often.
No, they don't.
Josiah Young from Kimberly, Idaho on Princess Warrior, another Calgary horse.
And here's a second generation. His dad, many-time national finalist Mickey Young. And this kid rides real well, too. He's a kind of a lanky kid, a little taller, totally opposite than Will Lowe we saw to start.
Well, he gets an 84, so that gives the title and all the bucks for the second time ever to Dusty LaValle, our four-time Canadian champion out of Bezance. And so a great run for Dusty LaValle. You know, he'd been feeling a little blue because up to this weekend he really hadn't won a lot, and boy, that changed on a dime.
That's going to change. He's going to feel real good tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and how many rodeos do you go to where an 88 isn't good enough to win?
To win a rodeo. I have been coming to the Ponoka Stampede for 25 years. That is the highest bareback ride I've seen, a 90. I've not seen one higher than that.
History made at the Ponoka Stampede. Well, there are some more champions in waiting, and we've got them for you, but you'll have to wait just a minute. Come on back. The Shaw Stampede coverage continues.
The Ponoka Stampede on Shaw is proudly sponsored by Busted Ladies Lingerie. Information available at 403-790-2878 and online at www.bustedlingerie.ca.
I am active.
I am beautiful.
I'm creative.
I am determined.
I am energetic.
I am focused.
I am goofy. I am hungry.
Close to 900,000 Canadians turn to food banks each month. 1/3 of them are children. These food banks turn to us, Food Banks Canada, for our nation's hungry.
Rodeo announcer Dr. Lynn Phillips from Oklahoma and myself here enjoying it's great to be able to watch these rides again because this has been an excellent showdown round at the Ponoka Stampede. We know you're enjoying it as well. You know, when we look at the tie-down roping final, it's like a pen at the National Finals Rodeo. It's some of the fastest loopers in the world.
It really is. The guys that we've got lined up, you know, we've worked all week long. They've roped twice. We come up with this kind of talent, and, you know, it's anybody's game. Who's going to win this? You pick a favorite because it's flip a coin because they can all do it very quickly.
Well, let's see how they got here. We'll begin with the afternoon run. And once again, Shane Hanchy out of Louisiana. He was on top heading in. And, you know, that's the toughest thing, to be on top and follow that up with another good run. But this fella is cool and knows exactly what he wants to do.
Consistent and very fast on the ground. Look at that horse standing there just like a statue.
8.3 seconds. That means Shane Hanchy wins the average and a pile of money that way. He's got his eyes, though, on the showdown victory. That's what he'd like to win. So we do have Cliff Cooper and Stetson Vetz from the same family, and Corey Solomon, of course, also in there, along with Shane Hanchy. So we could see some very fast times.
All national finalists, all great cowboys, all from way down south where the roping gets pretty tough in that neck of the woods.
And but we've got the added element of pressure. What's that going to do? Let's find out and head to our first showdown roper. This is, of course, Cliff Cooper from the famous Cooper family. Roy Cooper, his dad. He's got brothers and cousins and uncles, and this is a roping clan.
These guys can all do it. And this one, to me, of all of them, looks more like Dad Roy than any of them. He just ties like him. He moves like him. They move like a cat, a big lanky cat as they move around. Nice run.
Well, I'll take another look at that. And, yeah, just an efficiency of motion there.
Absolutely.
Nails the barrier just right.
Does not get in a hurry at any time. Got him caught. I mean, he is moving, but he's never rushing anything. Just puts him down, strings him up. He's not going to take a shortcut. Takes 2 wraps, puts a half hitch on, gets those hands in the, looks at the barrier, says, I'm good there. He says, I like it.
8.3 seconds. Well, here's the Wrangler model, Stetson Vest. Let's see what he can do. Also out of Texas country. Oh, he's going to have to chase that.
Close at that barrier. Now, calf is down when he reaches it, but he just kind of pats him, gets him up, bobbles that tie, drags the tail in, and has to unstring for just a second to get that tie back on.
9.7 seconds. So that's got him in second. But second doesn't pay quite as much. This is Corey Solomon from Prairie View, Texas.
This guy can be as fast as anybody, but he's either going to be the fastest guy or he's really going to have trouble. And that's kind of the rule for Corey. His horse is overworking. See it dragging that calf away from him, and he's having to scoot up. And I'm going to blame that all on the horse overworking in this run.
Well, 12 and 7, so that's still got Cliff out in front. Well, here we go with Shane Hanchy. Can he win everything here at Ponoka?
He can do it. I guarantee you he can. He's got him caught. He's been consistent. Bobbles a little on flanking that calf to the ground. Pretty quick there, but is it going to be fast enough to beat Mr. Cooper?
8.5 seconds. That's 2/10 separating them, but a big amount difference. $5,000 for Cliff and $2,500 for Shane. But they won't complain. That's
no, they're not going to complain about that.
Good chunk of change, so they'll go home happy. But Cliff will have a very big grin because he is the Ponoka champion. Well, it is time to see what happens in the steer wrestling, and we do have a Canadian in the steer wrestling along with some pretty fast Americans. Let's start with our Canadian, Tanner Milan out of Cochrane. He's only been back since Innisfail after some knee issues, but he likes this rodeo.
Here's the in-house favorite right here, the crowd favorite. And he does not disappoint. Look at it. Oh, man. And the whole family's there. Brothers Hazen, another brother at the barrier, jumped up and down when he made that throw.
You know, he just makes so many consistent runs. That was Tanner's afternoon run, 4.4. He was 13-2 on his 3 heads, so he wins the average. Now, he will be joined in the finals by Blake Knowles, Gabe Ledoux, and Sean Mulligan. All of those national final steer
All of them are national finals. And that's a tough. But he has nothing to be ashamed of. He won the average, so he'll just bow right up with them.
And, you know, this is a rodeo where, the normal steer wrestling times of 3 and 4 are often tough to get, and Tanner's just been getting it done.
That's impossible to see that done at most rodeos, but he has been pulling it out because of the long score. You know, that is, to have that timing to get away from that barrier, it's crucial here.
Okay, let's see how they do in the showdown round of the steer wrestling at Ponoka. We'll start with our Blake Knowles out of Oregon.
If you watch the national finals, you've seen this kid here. It's his dad is one of the announcers that does the TV commentary there. You still watch him on television. He just kind of has to boot that one. Steer kind of hangs up a little bit, and that's gonna cost him a little bit.
It's 5-8, but anything can happen in this game. Let's see what Sean Mulligan can do. He was fast in the afternoon, but this is go number 2. This is where all the marbles are on the line.
This big, stout guy down. Not in a position he wants to be. And that steer, that is...
not cooperating.
No, he's rolled up. He's got to roll him over all 4 feet in the head in the same direction. And that time just clicks by.
Doesn't give up. 11 seconds flat for Sean Mulligan. Now we go with Gabe Ledoux, another of our Louisiana Cowboys in our showdown round.
The Cajun Sensation is up alongside that steer. Got him caught. Slide around. Bring him. And another steer kind of gets his feet up underneath him. And he has to roll him over.
He had to run him a little farther, too. So that always takes some precious seconds. 6 flat. 6 flat. So far 5-8 leading. What can Tanner do? You mentioned the crowd favorite. Comes to us from Cochrane. Let's see what he can get done in this round.
He's out. Has to reach real wide on this steer. Out a little bit. And he's the only one that gets the nice, perfect leverage on the steer.
He is one happy camper. His brother Bailey hazing for him. He's on their own family horse, Peggy Sue. So that always makes the victory a little sweeter.
Oh, it really
He's been second a couple of times here and third. He's never managed to wrestle it away from the Cassidy clan until this year. So
what he was doing, what makes that run so good, he was never rushing. He let it develop long enough when the steer started around. Then he put the pressure on him and brought him down, and it works for him.
5 flat. That is the winning time for Tanner Milan, our 2012 Ponoka Stampede Steer Wrestling Champion. Now, that does bring us to the bull riding. Well, this afternoon in the round, we were beginning to wonder if we were going to get our 4 riders. We did, but just barely.
Well, we really only ended up with 3. And so what they do is they drop down to pick up the highest ride from that first round. And that's where we got our 4th one. We only rode 3 today.
So that's how we made it to our showdown round. But let's take a look at one of the best rides of the afternoon. This was Ty Posabon, and he was on the bull Ramrod. Ty out of BC, certainly talked about as one of the hot young riders these days.
He is a hot rider, and this is a good bull. Cannot fault this bull. You cannot fault Ty. He just scoots right back up on that rope, and that is a very, very picture-perfect ride.
Yeah, so Ty makes a great ride there and finishes well in the average. And so he is among our 4. We have Dakota Butter. He's the one that only made it in on one bull.
He's the one we picked up, right.
And then we had Jody Turner and Scott Schiffner, one of our experienced cowboys. I hate using the word veteran because I give you a hard time about that afterwards. But he definitely is one of the not junior members of the bull riding crew. Let's see what they've got loaded in the chutes for our showdown round. Dakota Butter is getting on this bull, and they call it Beaver.
From the Calgary Stampede, and And this bull bails out of there, really wrapping it up, going 9-0, and you can see him just scooting back on that rope. When a bull bucking that fast, that hard, you get that arm straight, you're going to come off, and that's what happens.
Well, here we go with Ty Bosabon again. He's got VJV slash. This bull is very tough to stay on.
Bucking Bull of the Year. Here's a bull that's really elevating in the back end, and that's just what throws him off. That bull never even got into the spin, just threw him off before he even got to that part.
Yeah, one of the ones that they want to get on, but tough to stay on. Scott Schiffner has got Pawn Star.
Here we go. Here's one wrapping it up right in the gate. And this bull's kind of mixing it up a lot. Goes one direction, and that is a wily bull right there that changes directions, bucks hard in between the two. Watch him.
Another look.
Here he goes. Watch him. He's going to jump right out and immediately go into a spin. Going around. Guy thinks he's got him. Bull jumps out of it, jumps high, and then he says, oh, okay, I felt you anticipating me, and he goes back the other way, and it is so tough to stay with one like that.
Okay, Jody Turner is out next. He's our Cochrane Cowboy on Moccasin Bead. Oh!
And that was over before it ever even began, and I'm not sure that injury happened there or that was from a previous ride that he made, but B.O. all bucked off today.
All right, so then let's talk technicalities. That has happened before here at the Ponoka Stampede. What do?
You go back to the average winner, the guy that came in first place in the bull riding, the guy that rode two bulls that had the highest marked aggregate score on those two.
Well, that is Scott Schiffner.
Yes,
and so Scott Schiffner becomes the 2012 champion. You know, he said it was, it's always mixed emotion. You hate to buck off and win, but he said it's like, roping out in the pasture. You get her done, and that's the
money's money. It'll spin just the same.
You'll get over not getting off,
Absolutely.
Not staying on the last bull. So Scott takes the big championship. And then what they do with the $10,000 in the go-round money, Scott explained to us, is they divide it equally among the Cowboys, and then it does not count towards the standings.
Right.
So that will change what the bull riders take home a little bit out of Ponoka. All right, and we do just want to mention a couple of our other champions. Our all-around champion, Wyatt Smith, he did a great job in both the bronc riding and the steer wrestling. Josh Peak is the High Point champion. Top bareback horse is Franklin's 23. Top bronc horse is Calgary's Trail Dust, and champion bull, VJV slash.
Great livestock, great Cowboys this year at the Ponoka
And a great
Stampede.
rodeo announcer, as always. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been such a pleasure to work with you on the show again. So we'll let you get back to hot Oklahoma.
Absolutely. I fly out tomorrow, and my wife said it was 105 today.
So you'll be wishing for these cool temperatures again.
I'm not looking forward to it. I hate to leave this beautiful weather here in Alberta.
Well, thanks for helping us with a memorable Ponoka Stampede, and we'll see you again next year. Don't go away. When we return, we'll find out who wins the Chuckwagons at the Ponoka Stampede.
The Ponoka Stampede on Shaw is proudly sponsored by Busted Ladies Lingerie. Information available at 403-790-2878 and online at www.bustedlingerie.ca.
I am active. I am beautiful.
I'm creative.
I am determined.
I am energetic.
I am focused.
I am goofy. I am hungry.
Close to 900,000 Canadians turn to food banks each month. 1/3 of them are children. These food banks turn to us, Food Banks Canada, for our nation's hungry.
What a great sunset shot of the Ponoka Stampede, and the sun is definitely setting on just a great rodeo, and we've got some great Chuckwagon racing for you, and who better to tell us about it than Billy Melville? And, Billy, I was walking through the tunnel today underneath the track, and a Chuckwagon racing fan came up and said, "You're so lucky. You get to sit beside Billy Melville." And I said, "Yes, I am." So Great to have you back with us tonight. Oh, I've left him speechless. That doesn't happen very often.
Well, I don't know I don't know how to come back from that one, but thank you, Diane. I appreciate it.
Well, let's talk Chuckwagons. That's where you can come right back at me. And we've got great racing conditions tonight. Just another perfect day weather-wise.
It really was. The weather held all day. I think they got this track in tip-top shape, and we should see some exciting Chuckwagon races tonight.
Now, we did readjust our combinations again.
Yep, everything was reshuffled, so we got a brand new combination, and we're going to have a real interesting sudden death final tonight, the $50,000 Tommy Dorchester winner-take-all.
I know, and you can hardly wait. So let's get to the action, and we'll start off with heat number 1. Now, in heat number 1, we've got Colt Cosgrave for High River Autoplex, and he's got that coveted barrel number 1 position.
And off of barrel number 2, it'll be Chance Vegan. He's driving for Arvid Fonstad's Quick Mats and Sales and Handling.
Troy Fladd is coming out of barrel number 3 for Extreme Hot Oil and Pressure Services.
And off of barrel number 4, this has been one of the hottest wagons the last couple of nights, Mike Vegan for White Owl Whiskey by Highwood Distillers.
We're so pleased to be able to draw on the talents of Les McIntyre, our trackside announcer, so take it away, Les.
There's the horn, and the showdown Monday night of the Ponoka Stampede has begun. Mike Vegan crunches a barrel. Colt Cosgrave sachets through the figure 8, gets the bottom one, goes a little into that track mode, and quick match with Chance Vegan on the outside of him. Barrels are flying all over the place. Colt Cosgrave has the early lead with Chance Vegan and Troy Fladd flanking him to his right. Mike Vegan now with White Owl Whiskey from Highwood Distillers in the trailer part of the pack. Colt Cosgrave, High River Autoplex and RV, best of company by a length and a half or so. And now Chance Vegan is closing ground into that third turn. Troy Fladd, Extreme Hot Oil and Pressure Services, going to have to turn up the extreme heat if he's going to catch that polka dot Chuckwagon. Mike Vegan lingering back about 5 lengths the leader from Colt Cosgrave, and here they come to that fourth and final turn. Chance Vegan making a move along the rail. He's trying to come inside of Colt Cosgrave, and he gets her done in the sun of Mike Vegan. Chance is challenging Colt Cosgrave to the outside. Cosgrave opens him up another notch, but look at Chance Vegan fly tonight. Quick match, quick heat. Chance Vegan gets it done by a length and a little bit. Colt Cosgrave followed by Mike Vegan, and Troy Fladd right on his flank to the right. Wraps up a penalty field.
No catching Chance Vegan this evening, and what a great way to start racing with that time, 1:13.90. That's a fast one.
Well, that's the fastest time that we've seen posted all week. You know, when young Chance Vegan here, we thought he was going to win his first day money here a couple of weeks ago with the North American Championship in High River, but late penalties took it away. It'd be great if that holds up for number 1 tonight. Troy Fladd, decent running time, clean run there. Colt Cosgrave, 5 seconds, knocked a barrel there, and then Mike Vegan, he had all sorts of hell tonight. Knocked 2 barrels and a couple of other seconds on top of that, so not Mike Vegan's night after 2 great runs the previous 2 days.
Well, he certainly had an up and down week, that's for sure. Hopefully he can get it all straightened out as he goes off to his next stop. Well, in heat number 2, it is time to find out what's going on there, and we've got a father-son combination. It's Kirk Sutherland out of barrel 1 for Emco Corporation.
Yeah, second father-son combination in a row here, but on barrel number 2, it'll be Mitch Sutherland, and he's driving for Red Deer Motors.
Cliff Cunningham's out of barrel number 3 for Regulators Oilfield Hauling.
And off of barrel number 4, celebrating his 10th year as a Chuckwagon driver, it'll be Cody Ridsdale. He's driving for Mustang Controls.
The horses and the drivers are anxious to go, so let's listen for the horn.
The horn, and they're off to a quick start right across the board as Outriders get their jobs done. Kirk Sutherland from the 1 barrel, Mitch right alongside Cliff Cunningham and Cody Ridsdale, 4 wide in the largest Chuckwagon tsunami today. They're flying around that first turn with Captain Kirk beating me up Scotty on along the rail. Emco Corporation, who's pounding on his spokes. Mitch Sutherland, Red Deer Motors. Come on, Paul, let's have us a horse race. Cliff Cunningham shooting ahead to the outside with Cody Ridsdale ducking in to follow the fastest stove rack. He'll decide that in the moment as they go into that third turn, 100 yards to it. And the Sutherland boys are dueling it out with Kirk Sutherland on the inside and Mitch Sutherland up the middle. Cliff Cunningham, he's hanging in there with Regulated Oilfield, even though he's got the overland route. Cody Ridsdale, Mustang Controls, has got his Mustangs in control. Here comes the Sutherland sandwich. Kirk Sutherland to the inside. Mitch, his son, to the middle of the track, and Cliff Cunningham, he's opened him up a notch. Cunningham's going to challenge him at the wire. Mitch, Kirk, look out, here he comes. Kirk Sutherland's trying to hang on. Mitch with a late comeback, but it's Kirk Sutherland. Mitch Sutherland by a nose. Oh, the stove rack.
And that was an exciting heat and some fast times, and look, not much separating them.
No, outstanding Chuckwagon race. As you saw, all four wagons hitting the track at the same time, pretty much stayed that way all the way around and finished that way, but it was Kirk Sutherland winning that heat. And look at that, a clean heat, that was what we were looking for, but 3 times in the 1:14, and even Cody Ridsdale with that 1:15.58. Pretty good time for finishing 4th.
Yeah, that's great to see. Well, our third heat, I know we're just getting so anxious to get to that heat number 9, that Tommy Dorchester Dash for Cash, so we better get right into heat number 3. Here we have Evan Solomon on barrel number 1, and Evan would definitely like to get some points to help his world standings. Phoenix Oilfield Rentals is who he's driving for tonight at Ponoka.
And off of barrel number 2, this was our Lloydminster champion from last year, Lane McGilvery. He's driving for ATB Financial.
Logan Gorst has got barrel 3 tonight for Cinch Jeans and Shirts.
And off of barrel number 4, it'll be Jason Johnstone. He's driving for Rush Equipment.
All right, Les is ready to go, so let's hear the call of the race.
The horn, and they're off to a good start right across the board. Jason Johnstone quick on that number 4 barrel. Here comes Logan Gorst right alongside as they fly into the early lead with Evan Solomon and Lane McGilvery in tow. Logan Gorst and Cinch Jeans and Shirts. Cinch about time. He's running hard tonight. He's got that lead by a half a wagon length, but Jason Johnstone right on his right flank as they fly out of them turns. Jason will close ground in the backstretch drive, and Phoenix Oilfield Rentals with Evan Solomon. He too is gaining on our leader as they glide midway down the backstretch. Lane McGilvery, ATB Financial, banking on some speed in that home stretch run. He's surrounded by the Ferris Outriders, and up on the front end, hanging on to that rail position is Logan Gorst. Cinch Jeans, a 4-time outrunning champ with the CPCA, and last year the runner-up to the champ. He's got a lot of speed. He's got what you call home stretch drive. Ponoka, it's your turn to come alive. Logan Gorst, Cinch Jeans coming at you, and Jason Johnstone with a comeback charge. Can he do it? He's opened them up a notch. Johnstone's going to get it done tonight. Jason Johnstone, Rush Equipment in the rush in the wire. He hangs on by a nose. Logan Gorst, ATB Financial with Lane McGilvery.
No holding back on a night like tonight, and wow, just not quite as fast, but another really close heat.
Oh, great, exciting heat there. Nice start and turn by Logan Gorst, and I didn't think that anybody was going to be able to catch him, but Jason Johnstone's horses, they dug a little deeper and found another gear and ran him down to the wire. I didn't think they were going to be able to do that, but a great wagon race, another clean heat, and look at that, Lane McGilvery and Evan Solomon, all 4 guys in the 115s, less than a second separating all 4 wagons. It doesn't get much better than that.
And as we mentioned, of course, we've got world points up for grabs and also cash. So there's a lot on the line. There's no, experimenting or just taking it easy on a night like tonight.
Well, no, I mean, I guess it depends on your barrel draw, though, because there are world points. And, of course, it's very competitive out here on the GMC Pro Tour. So you need to have every point you can get. Plus, every heat tonight is a dash for cash. So there's some pretty good money up in all 9 heats. So you got to win your way down the road if you're going to be driving Chuckwagons.
All right, we are ready for heat number 4, and tell us about barrel number 1.
Well, barrel number 1, this is the 1999 Ponoka Stampede champion Grant Profit, driving for his longtime sponsor, Jayco Welding and Consulting.
Doug Irvine, off of barrel 2, is driving for his longtime sponsor, B&R Eccles Transport Limited.
And off of barrel number 3, this will be Dave Galloway. He's driving for CSI Canada Safety.
And powered by equipment, Heston Massey Ferguson is who is looking after Darcy Flatt, and he's driving out of barrel number 4. It is time to check in with Les. Here is the call for Heat 4.
Heat 4. There's the horn and the charge. He's underway. Dave Galloway, CSI goes high and wide on the top, and Grant Profit takes advantage of it, gets out there to steal the rail away, crunches the bottom barrel, gets the rail, and Doug Irvine, B&R Eccles Transport to the outside of him, flanked by Dave Galloway, CSI Canada Safety, and now Darcy Flatt, L-man left. He's making a move. One of his outriders just leaving town, and they're going down the backstretch with Grant Profit, the 1999 Ponoka Stampede Chuckwagon champion, and in the finals here last year, he's opened them up a notch. He's 2 lengths the leader as they head for that 3rd turn. Doug Irvine, B&R Eccles can feel the hot breath on either elbow now. He's got a pair of steaming lead teams coming in on either side of him. To his left is Darcy Flatt with Heston by Massey Ferguson. Dropping back now to the outside is Dave Galloway with CSI Canada Safety, but Grant Profit could care less. He's westbound and down all by his lonesome. Jayco Welding and Consulting. Profit opens him up tonight. No challenge for the winner tonight. Grant Profit and Jaco. A late charge from Doug Irvine. B&R Eccles Transport is behind by a length and a half at the wire with Darcy Fladd for third and Dave Galloway, CSI Canada Safety, rolling in to be fourth in heat number 4 from Peavy Mart and Work King.
Well, nice way for Grant Profit to cap off his driving career at Ponoka, but unfortunately a little bit of penalty trouble there.
Oh, a lot of penalty trouble for everybody in that heat. Kind of a disappointing wagon race. The wagons were strung out, and then the boys made a mess of the infield there. Dave Galloway, the only guy to come out of that heat unscathed, and his 1:16.81 was good enough to take the dash money out of heat number 4. Doug Irvine ended up having an outrider miss a barrel. Grant Profit hit a barrel, as you saw, and Darcy Fladd had an outrider miss a barrel. And then to add a little insult to injury, he also came late. So, but hey, good for Dave Galloway. That shows you what running clean will do for you. Sometimes it pays quite nicely.
All right. On heat number 5, it is a time to check in with our drivers there. And, of course, we've got a local favorite here, Aubrey Montewillo from Bluffton, and driving for H&E Oilfield Services.
And barrel number 2, this will be Jordy Fike. He's driving for Eagle Builders.
Jerry Bremner has MPI Oilfield Incorporated this time off of heat barrel number 3.
And barrel 4, it'll be Barry Hodgson for Road Trek Motorhomes.
Well, let's see if the hometown favorite can pull through as we head to heat number 5.
There's the horn and a quick start right across the board. Look out, Jerry Bremner, he's quick on that 3-barrel. Aubrey Montewillo is quick on the 1-barrel, and that's how they're going to match going out the middle. Jordy Fike trying to stay in the middle with Eagle Builders as Aubrey Montewillo flies to that rail position. Holding off Jerry Bremner 3 wide is Jordy Fike. EagleBuilders.ca. The trailer is Barry Hodgson, Road Trek, and Trailblazer RV, and that's how they blast down the backstretch. Aubrey Montewillo, the 98 Ponoka champion. Look at Jerry Bremner fly now. He's found some speed midway down the backstretch. Jordy Fike dropping back just a bit, saving his energy for the home stretch run with Eagle Builders, your precast concrete crew. And in behind comes Barry Hodgson, Road Trek by Trailblazer at Trailblazer RV Center. Aubrey Montewillo is flying into that 4th turn. Best of company with H&E Oilfield Services as he points him westbound and down. The louder you cheer, the quicker we'll get here. Aubrey Montewillo opens him up. Here comes Jerry Bremner, MPI welding from the outside. Jordy Fike up the middle. Barry Hodgson in behind, but they're not going to catch Aubrey Montewillo tonight. He'll get there by half a wagon length. Eagle Builders with Jordy Fike. MPI with Jerry Bremner. And Road Trek, Barry Hodgson closing ground. Short order.
Well, Aubrey had a great drive there, but was he a little too fast? I see some penalties.
Yeah, it was. Last couple of heats, the Outriders have been letting their drivers down because Aubrey Montewillo had an Outrider miss a barrel. He would have collected some pretty good money. His 1:15.08 is now a 1:17.08. Dropped him from first to worst in heat number 5. But hey, you know, there isn't an ill wind that blows. It doesn't help somebody. And today it helped Jordy Fike. That 1:15 there was good to win that heat.
Okay, well, heat number 6 as we count our way down to the big dash for cash on heat number 6. Who have you got off of barrel number 1?
Well, off of barrel number 1, this is the Hound, Cody McCurra. He's driving for Enter Plus.
Oh, the always colorful Rick Fraser's got the 2nd barrel tonight for Northwell Oilfield Hauling and Hellfire Suppression Services.
And barrel number 3, kind of the heartbreaker last night. He tipped a barrel in the semifinal round, and that wasn't good for Jason Glass and World Financial Group off of barrel 3.
And barrel 4 has got Kurt Bensmiller for AIC Construction. Let's find out what happens in exciting heat number 6.
There's the horn and a quick start. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Here comes Rick Fraser off that number 2 barrel, flying to the lead with Hellfire Suppression and Northwell Oilfield. He gets the rail away from Cody McCurra, Enter Plus. Jason Glass moves to the outside, 2 wide with World Financial Group, and the trainer is Kurt Bensmiller. AIC Construction. The barrels are up and the Outriders are on the fly. They must be within 150 feet of their lead teams at the wire, and Rick Fraser knows that all too well. The 04 world champion and former Ponoka champ but he can feel the thunder. He can feel the pounding thoroughbreds. From the outside comes Jason Glass. World Financial Group tucked inside of Jason is Cody McCurra. Enter plus and closing ground is Kurt Bensmiller in that third turn with AIC Construction. Rick Fraser's not out of the fire yet. Rick Fraser, Hellfire Suppression in Northwell Oilfield, westbound and down, and now the hounds are flanking him. Jason Glass closing ground. Cody McCurra trying to come on. Kurt Bensmiller, too little, too late. Can Rick hang on? He opens him up. The Gray and the Bay are out running the field. Rick Fraser, Jason Glass will be second by 3/4. Enterplus with Cody McCurra and Kurt Bensmiller. AIC rolled in to be fourth in heat number 6.
Well, another great one, and we are back below that 115 mark, at least for Rick Fraser.
Yes, and we're back in clean heat country, too, as well. But a great run by Rick Fraser there, 1:14.53. That'll give him the money in heat number 6 there. Jason Glass, a little ways behind, but not a bad running time. Cody McCurra and Kurt Bensmiller both right there, but heat 6, certainly Rick Fraser's heat tonight.
Okay, well, we are moving closer to our heat number 9, which is, of course, tonight the Dorchester Dash for Cash. But we've got a couple more heats to get through, so let's go to heat number 7. And as mentioned, money on the line, and Gary Gorst would like to get a piece of that. Of course, the newcomer to the WPCA on Old West Boots off of barrel 1.
And off of barrel number 2, here's a guy that knows how to take some money out of Ponoka. He's done a lot of that over the years, and that is Reg Johnstone for Cal Nash Trucking.
And so is Chad Harden in both the ponies and the big chuck wagons. Chad driving for Parkland Fertilizers off barrel 3.
And barrel number 4, it'll be Hugh Sinclair, and he'll be driving for Sexsmith Used Farm Parts.
He's had some speedy runs this week. Can he do it again? Let's find out. Here's Les.
There's the horn, and that blast to the top barrel is a quick one for Chad Harden and Hugh Sinclair and Reg Johnstone and Gary Gorst, but it is Chad Harden, Parkland Fertilizers, that gets out there to take the early lead. He's up the middle of the track. Tucked in the middle is Reg Johnstone, and the rail belongs to Gary Gorst in Old West Boots. Reg Johnstone is leading that turn with Cal Nash Trucking. Gary Gorst to the inside, putting the pressure on now, and Chad Harden, Parkland Fertilizers, dropping back to the outside, closing ground, and he's going to need to close a lot of it is Hugh Sinclair with Sexsmith Used Farm Parts. Up on the front end, the old Hound Dogs are getting at it. Gary Gorst, Old West Boots on the inside with the bash all flash in a smoke dance through the turns with Reg Johnstone. Cal Nash Trucking to the outside, and Chad Harden, Parkland Fertilizers, deciding which stove rack should I follow, because I think I can pass him in the home stretch, but oh, they're getting speedy tonight. Here comes Gary Gorst. Old West Boots going to wear the soles off, coming to the wire. Reg Johnstone now, the old bash all flash, showing his Ponoka Championship form. Chad Harden with too little, too late. Going to be Reg Johnstone at the wire with Chad Harden back by a neck. And Gary Gorst, Old West Boots, and Hugh Sinclair, Sexsmith Used Farm Parts, trails for fourth in heat 7.
Never count out the veteran. Reg turns in a sharp time this evening.
Well, we talk about taking money out of Ponoka. Well, he did it once again by taking it out of heat number 7, that 1:14.97. Great run for Reg Johnstone, another former Ponoka Stampede champion. Chad Harden right there as well, just 18/100ths of a second. Gary Gorston right there, not too far behind that. Hugh Sinclair just a little ways back, but Huey might have been trying something new, trying to get ready for the Calgary Stampede.
Different combinations. I might not have his speedy ones on tonight. So we, of course, have 2 more heats to come, and I know you're waiting to see the big one. All of us are, so don't go away. Much more ahead on Shaw coverage of the Ponoka Stampede by Bob Dale Gloves.
The Ponoka Stampede on Shaw is proudly sponsored by Busted Ladies Lingerie. Information available at 403-790-2878 and online at www.bustedlingerie.ca.
I am active.
I am beautiful.
I'm creative. I am determined.
I am energetic.
I am focused.
I am goofy. I am hungry.
Close to 900,000 Canadians turn to food banks each month. 1/3 of them are children. These food banks turn to us, Food Banks Canada, for our nation's hungry.
We are nearly to the $50,000 dash for cash here at the 76th annual Ponoka Stampede. Diane Finstead with Billy Melville bringing you all the highlights. And this brings us to heat number 8. And again, we've got that family combination here, father and son. Mark Sutherland has got the barrel number 1 position that Kelly usually enjoys. He's driving for Pomeroy Inns and Suites.
Yes, and right beside him, it is his father. As you mentioned, Kelly Sutherland, and he is driving for Tervita.
And the Rainbow, Ray Crotto Jr. for Tomco Group of Companies.
And finally, barrel off of barrel number 4, it'll be twice the Calgary Stampede champion, Luke Tournier, driving for Crystal Kids.
Okay, they've got the horses ready to roll. Let's go to heat number 8 at Ponoka.
There's the horn in the charge. He's underway. Lightning Luke Tournier strikes from the 4-barrel. Mark Sutherland to the inside. Pomeroy Inns and Suites. Kelly Sutherland with all kinds of problems breaking in a new lead team, and he matches up with Ray Crotto, Tomco Group after he toured the infield, and that's how they fly. That's a rare video. You won't see that again for a lot of years. Trust me. Up on the front end is the young man by the name of Luke Tournier. Crystal Kid, but he's got this pesky kid to the inside of him by the name of Mark Sutherland. Pomeroy Inns and Suites, who's holding him off the rail. Back about 4 lengths. They're doing it out for 3rd and 4th with Kelly Sutherland and Tervita on the inside, and Ray Crotto, Tomco.ca on the outside, and Outriders strung all over a furlong, but up in the front end, it is Luke Tournier, Crystal Kids, and Crystal Glass with a horse-length lead into that final turn, and the high-tech redneck Mark Sutherland to the inside on the rail position, and now there's heading up for the home stretch drive. Luke Tournier to the outside with an edge. Mark Sutherland to the inside with some late speed. Can Luke Tournier hold him off? Mark's making a comeback. It'll be Mark Sutherland at the wire by a nose. Luke Tournier and Crystal Glass. Look at this race. Ray Crotto and nose ahead of a disappointed.
Wow, there was a nose-to-nose finish. What do the numbers tell us there, Billy?
Well, the numbers tell us that Luke Tournier, he was clean at 1:14.08. Mark Sutherland was a 1:14.06. Just nipped Luke by 2/100ths, but 2 seconds for an outrider missing a barrel. It really wasn't the outrider's fault there. Ray Crotto Jr., clean run with a 1:16.66.
Now look
Kelly
at this.
Sutherland.
Wow.
Now, I mean,
have you ever seen that high number by Kelly?
Well, you know, it just, I don't know, this just doesn't happen to him. I think you'd have better luck finding a white buffalo than you would seeing Kelly Sutherland do what he did here tonight. 22 seconds in penalties. He missed a barrel. He knocked a barrel. One of his outriders missed a barrel, one of his outriders late, and then four other seconds thrown in there just for good measure. So that, I'd have to say he was trying something new tonight, but and it didn't pan out probably as planned.
No, I would say with that kind of penalties. But, you know, Kelly, he'll recover from that. He's been around enough that he's had the odd bad run, and so we know
very odd.
He will. He'll be stringing it together clean when he gets to Calgary, that's for sure. All right, well, let's set the stage for heat number 9. This is the participants in our Dash for Cash. Just really a new-looking bunch that are going after the big prize here at Ponoka.
Yeah, it really shows the parity here. Last night, we're taking a look at the guy on number 1 barrel there, John Walters. Won his first career day money as a member of the WPCA, which got him into his first ever sudden death final. Qualified in first place, and he drew the number 1 barrel tonight. So, I mean, the number 1s are working for John, and I'm sure that he'd like to be number 1 after this race. But great to see John Walters.
And he's a former rodeo cowboy, too, so he's a cowboy through and through.
Well, one thing about it, his rodeo background, I think that taught him how to compete and how to be tough mentally, and he's really come a long ways. This is just his 3rd year on the GMC Pro Tour, and I can't believe how fast he has figured the game out.
And Tim Harrelson, I know he's got this Through Tubing Solutions, and they are excited sponsors of his. I saw one of them down there, and they were like, oh, we're going to go with him again next year. And it's just interesting to see how these sponsors come on board and get hooked on Chuckwagon racing and being involved with the drivers.
Well, one thing about Chuckwagon racing, it's a lot harder to get out of than it is to get into it. And, you know, Tim Harrelson, when we started the week here, he was one of my dark horse picks, and here he is, and off a very good barrel. That number 2 barrel has given up a lot of wins and a lot of day money so far this week. Tim Harrelson, he did qualify for the sudden death final at the Capital X Chuckwagon Derby in Edmonton last year. He's finding out how good he can really be, and this is really a testament to Tim Harrelson. Number 2 Barrel, watch out for him. He could be a real threat in this race.
Now, Troy Dorchester, definitely the crowd favorite. It's history. It's his grandfather's named race. Boy, wouldn't he love to run away with this one?
He would. And, even off the barrel number 3, you might not think that would be a favorable barrel, but Troy Dorchester's got a really big running outfit. So, you don't have to cry too hard for Troy Dorchester because he grabbed number 3 hole, because that might be pretty advantageous for him, especially with this long home stretch on Ponoka. If he can stick with these guys, he might be able to go around them coming home. And the run that he has shown a few times this week, he just might be able to catch him and maybe outrun him. And that would be, as you mentioned, he is the local and the sentimental favorite amongst everybody here at Ponoka.
And Roger Moore, he had barrel 4 coming into this out of the semifinals, and of course he knows what to do with that.
Yeah, ironically, these guys, this is the order that they qualified, and this is how the barrel draw came out: 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't usually see that, but Roger Moore finally, his year hasn't really gone that well. He's been hooked in the first heat pretty much right from the start of the season, and just hasn't been able to get out of it. But he really showed signs of life and a lot of signs of what his potential is, and just had a great week for Roger Moore. Happy to be in this final heat, and we've seen a lot of good runs off of barrel number 4. Haven't seen it from Roger Moore yet, but maybe he's saving one for tonight. So he might, I think he's probably the dark horse out of the 4 here, but you never know. He might come and steal it all.
All right, that's the setup, and now it's time to let the wagons do the talking. Well, actually, we'll let Les do the call. The Tommy Dorchester $50,000 Dash for Cash.
And the Tommy Dorchester $50,000 Dash for Cash is underway as they fly through the patterns. John Walters, Canring Insulation holds them all 3 wide. He's got the rail with Tim Harrelson alongside. Troy Dorchester to the outside, and Roger Moore to the backside, ducking in now. Barrels are up. Outriders are in hot pursuit, and the Tommy Dorchester Dash for Cash has reached the backstretch drive with Tim Harrelson through Tubing Solutions coming through the middle of the pack. John Walters, Cadrea Insulation hanging on to that rail, and Troy Dorchester, Team Rigging Supply around the outside, and Roger Moore, Ron May Consulting closing ground, but Tim is hanging on to that slim lead through Tubing Solutions up into that 3rd turn, and then behind him comes Troy Dorchester to the outside, John Walters to the inside rail, and Roger Moore, Ron May to the backside, and here they come to the wire. The louder you cheer, the quicker you'll get here. Tim Harrelson through Tubing Solutions. John Walters trying to make it come back, and here comes Troy Dorchester from the outside. The horses of Troy Boy are going to win this one tonight. Troy Dorchester by a nose at the wire. Tim Harrelson, John Walters, and Roger Moore. Look out, boys. Don't get too tight in there.
What a tremendous drive by Troy, and those horses they had to come all the way around from the outside, and look at that time, 1:14:33. It was a close one through and through.
Well, a nice, clean heat. You always like to see it finish on a clean note, and what a popular champion here. And, running, to be able to run the time that fast, going 3 wide around the entire racetrack, it looked like it was going to be Timmy Harrelson's there for most of the race, and I don't know where Troy, he begged, he pleaded, he cried a little more, and those horses responded to him because he didn't beat him by much. Look at that, just 11/100ths of a second over Tim Harrelson. I kind of feel for Tim Harrelson, this is the 2nd time in a row at a major event that he's come up just a little bit short second, but maybe the next one, which would be the Calgary Stampede, is going to be Tim Harrelson's. John Walters, just fantastic. His first final, he's got nothing to hang his head over because, he was right there too. Any one of those 3 guys could have won it coming to the wire. It was that close. And Roger Moore, we mentioned he was in the toughest spot, at the start, being off of barrel number 4, and ran a good race. He tucked in behind and just couldn't find an opening, and it was going to be a tough race for Roger Moore to win. But you know what? I'm proud of all 4 of these guys. They just really captured our hearts and imagination this week. And for Troy Dorchester, probably a very emotional and sentimental win for the Ponoka Chuckwagon fans.
You bet. Chance Vegan did end up with the fast time of the day, so that good news for him. He gets the big check there.
That is fantastic, and I'd have to double check this, but I think that Chance Vegan's father, Mike, won his very first day money quite a few years ago right here at the Ponoka Stampede, and it looks like Chance might have repeated that. So that was great for Chance. Great run there for Luke Tournier, 1:14:08, and then there's our champion Troy Dorchester and Tim Harrelson. So look at that, 2 of the guys in the final heat posting 2 out of the top 4 times on the night. It just great way to finish off. Just a tremendous Ponoka
There we go.
Stampede.
To the winner goes the spoils, $50,000, as well as the truck.
Yep, and there's his outriders.
There's your brother, Eddie.
Eddie Melville and Chance Flad there on the right in the blue helmet. And believe it or not, history was made because this is the first time in Chuckwagon racing history that 3 generations of one family outrode and won for 3 generations of another. Eddie's grandfather, Orville Strandquist, and Uncle Ron Strandquist outrode for Troy's grandpa, Tom Dorchester, and Uncle Gary Dorchester, and now Eddie's outriding there for Troy. So 3 generations of Strandquists outriding for 3 generations of Dorchesters. Never happened in the history of Chuckwagon racing until tonight.
All right, history made. And, of course, Troy said he just had a feeling, and that feeling paid off for him here. Well, that is our time. Thank you so much, Billy, for all you provide. Thank you to our crew, of course, our producer, Lexi, and director, Paula, and all the crew. Too many to mention, but they've all done a great job all week long. Thank you to the Ponoka Stampede for letting us come and enjoy a great rodeo. We hope you can come and experience it live and in person next year for the 77th annual. We leave you with some fun nats of Crash Cooper. Have a great one. We'll see you at the next rodeo. Thanks again. What a great sunset shot of the Ponoka Stampede, and the sun is definitely setting on just a great rodeo, and we've
Bart loves to paintball. In fact, he loved it so much, discovering the sport on a family trip back in 2000.
Now you're going to take that power, that can off brake.
The car dealership's owner built his own facility.
5-second warning!
And Canada's pro team in the NPPL was born.
Go, 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 go!
We got invited to go play, and then we went out that Sunday and played with, it was over in actually Hawaii, and we got hooked and came back.
These guys are the Edmonton Impact.
It's large in the States, much larger than it is here.
Go, 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 go!
They're the country's only all-Canadian team in the National Professional Paintball League. Yes, a pro paintball league.
We're getting 5,000 to 6,000 people in the stands watching it down in Huntington Beach. We were right in the sand. 100,000 people are going through. It's just been blowing up, and it's been growing. You know, the more and more people are seeing it, it's just been helping out exponentially.
Come now, come up, all the way, all the way.
Bart and his team have sponsors for everything.
Look up.
Their guns, or markers as they're called.
We shoot so fast. Each gun will shoot up to 27 balls per second.
Also their masks, clothing, and ammunition, all from sponsors. They'll go through upwards of 4 million paintballs per season.